Marky got with Sharon, and Sharon got Charisse. She was sharing Sharon's outlook on the topic of disease. Mikey had a facial scar and Bobby was a racist. They were all in love with dying, they were doing it in Texas. Tommy played piano like a kid out in the rain, then he lost.
Hey everybody. Sometimes life gives you a multitude of paths, and today is one of those days in life where I've had plenty, and my own mind has prevented me from choosing one. So, I am here to film a video from a hashtag that I was tagged by Nicole Hikesalot. She and her husband Tim are an awesome YouTube channel where they are avid backpackers that travel to some of the most insanely gorgeous places in the country, and they capture some stunning footage. I could go on and on about how great they are, but I would encourage you highly to check out their channel, which I will link below. So she tagged me to do this thing called My Worst Backpacking Trip. Oddly enough, I'm not sure if I even got that right, but that's what the tag is. I'll get it right in the title to make sure that you guys know what I'm talking about. And I am going to choose 2 backpacking trips because I couldn't decide my worst. Starting with one, which is today. I'm here at Union Grove State Park in southeast South Dakota, which was not my original intended path for the day. I was going to go to the Loess Hills and backpack a trail and do some primitive camping that I've never done before, but I wound up having a crappy attitude on the way down and turned around impulsively and headed back with a pouty face towards Sioux Falls. Needless to say, I kind of turned myself around on that drive, and about halfway there I decided to stop by this park that I'm sitting at right now and check it out. And while I was here, I booked a campsite and decided to do some car camping and make the best of my day. Looked around at the maps and found this 5-mile loop and found this magnificent loop that I am currently hiking. I'm in the prairie right now, but you'll see some woods and things too. I'll show you a little scenery of the park itself. But this is my worst backpacking trip, number one, because of the simple fact that my crappy attitude prevented me from actually backpacking. I didn't want to see some scenery that's become normal, quote unquote, to me. So I pouted and turned around. And luckily I changed my mind, but between where I was and home is no place to backpack. So here I am car camping and hoping to change my worst backpacking trip into one of my best car camping trips. Thanks for joining us on Backpacking with Buckley. I will tell you the other story of the worst trip after showing you some scenes, and we'll check in with you in a bit.
Like in Dallas, he was dancing with a train. They were all in love with dying. They were drinking from a fountain that was pouring like an avalanche coming down the mountain.
So I forgot to mention, still successfully not smoking. And thank you for all those that gave supportive comments and encouragement below. As you can see, there's still smoke coming out of my mouth. That's just because I have dragon's breath. Actually, no. I'm still smoking the CBD. Again, it's not my treatment recommendation per se, but holy cow, has it worked for me. I've diminished how much I really smoke, but when I'm really having a craving, I take a couple puffs, and I feel a lot better. Again, maybe it's psychosomatic, I don't know. But still not smoking, proud to say. Day 6.
Drink it from a fountain that is pouring like an avalanche coming down the mountain.
So let's get to the story, shall we? Worst backpacking trip as far as story number 2 goes. It was actually our first backpacking trip ever. And it was actually, will go down in history as one of our best memories, ironically enough. So yeah, this is always a mixed bag to try to talk about it being the worst, but it was a trip to Black Elk Peak in the Black Hills of South Dakota. It was Whitney, Emma, and I. And I know for a fact that my pack was at least 40 pounds. Whitney's was probably 35, and Emma was carrying a 65-liter REI backpack that she had no business having to carry. and we got up to the top of a mountain and the sun was going down and we were so exhausted we couldn't go another step. And just as that dawned on us, a thunderstorm started rolling in. So we found the only flat spot we could. I'll try to show you a picture of the camp spot amongst a bunch of deadfall. It was safe, but it was not an ideal camping situation. And got our tents up quick and spent about 2.5 hours crouched into our 2-person tent. Emma joined us and we just had supper and had a bunch of laughs and rode out a thunderstorm. So that was pretty much kind of a cliche experience for first-time backpackers, as you get out there and you think you have it down pat, but we were so tired after about 3 miles that I don't think we could have even kept going up that mountain any further. We did not make it to Black Elk Peak, and the next morning we hightailed it out on what seemed like the longest 4.5 miles of our lives. So that's the worst trip ever, but again, we will never forget that trip. We will always remember it fondly, as a matter of fact, because the time we spent in our tent was really fun, and we definitely proved right off the bat that we could ride out a pretty gnarly storm. So that's the worst trip. I guess my last duty will be to tag a couple of other backpackers, but I'm going to go for a few more miles, and then I will figure out who I'm going to tag after giving it some thought.
Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the city I live in. The
Well, hello
city
again.
Of angels.
I decided to climb a tree on my lunch break.
Lonely as I am, together we cry.
Speaking of the worst, hills are the worst. So let's keep it real and let's heavy breathe through these tags. Number 1, a new guy on the scene who is awesome from Utah, Jeff from Dose of Dirt. Tag you to do this. Talk about your worst day ever at backpacking. Number 2, my buddy Aaron from Signal Outdoors. Tag you as well. And number 3, my buddy Dawson from DTO, Dredd Tactical Outdoors. I'd like you to be my 3rd tag. You guys are not obligated to do this. I know we're all busy, but please do if you wish. Hashtag my worst backpacking trip. I don't remember. I'll get it right in the description. Whew. I mean, some prairie. So thanks for joining me here at Backpacking with Buckley. Thank you, Nicole Hikesalot. Check out her channel a lot as well. She is awesome at capturing beautiful scenery and enviable campsites. And check out the other guys I tagged too, because I wouldn't tag them if I didn't like them. But anyway, a bad day of backpacking is better than a good day at work, in my opinion. So, be yourself, be happy. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next adventure. So I know I talk too much, but I have to make it abundantly clear that when I say this is my worst backpacking trip, that is not to dog on Union Grove State Park whatsoever. This place is marvelous, which is something that's just a common theme amongst my life. Is every place I go to seems to shock me in a good way. So Union Grove State Park, get some backpacking sites out here, man. This is a 5-mile loop. It'd be a great beginner park, and we'd have something in our area. This place is super cool.